Okay, so going to be solving triangle problems. So we're going to use all the formula we've just learned: sine rule, cosine rule, and area of a triangle. Bring it to bear in solving triangle problems. So hit pause, make some notes, and when you're ready, we'll look at an example then. Okay, so this is our problem. We've got the diagram on the right hand side, and it's the location of four masts, A, B, C, and D, and they've given us some dimensions there, some lengths. Sorry, BC is 75, CD is 85, and the angle BCD is 55, and ADC is 140. So 140, 55. Good. Then we're told a little bit extra information. It says the masts must be at least 70 meters apart. At least 70 meters apart, so that they don't interfere with each other. And then it says, given that A is the minimum distance from D, find the distance AB. So it says, given that A is the minimum distance from D, A is the minimum distance, and they must be at least 70 meters apart. That means AD must be 70 meters. So we've got to look for these clues in the question. Okay. So we want to find AB, this distance here. And we've got triangle formula. Now, if I knew this length, that would help me. So if I draw a line between B and D, there we go, I can look at this triangle here, BCD. I've got this length here, another length, and an angle in between them. So that's telling me I can use one of the formula that I know. Let me just highlight this triangle. If I highlight it in red, I'm going to look for this side BD here. Because I'm looking for BD and I'm using my cosine rule. A squared equals B squared plus C squared minus 2BC cos of A. I'm going to relabel just in red. I'm going to call this side A. I mean this angle is A. And that side B and that side C. So it's two sides and the angle included, which means a cosine rule. Now I'm going to substitute. I can find A now. Quite straightforward. Sub for B, so that's 75 squared, plus C, 80 squared, minus 2 times 75 times 80, cos of the angle in between. The angle in between is 55 degrees. Work that out, and I should get on the calculator, I'll put everything in as one, 5,142.08. But that's A squared. To find A, I need the square root of that. A is going to be the square root. 5,142, which is 71.708 meters. So I found that length. So now, knowing that, I've got this side here. If I knew this angle, I could work that out. In order to find that angle, I'm going to try something else. Before we do that, I want you to make some notes. So if you haven't written the example down, do it now, and then copy this solution. So hit pause, copy that down, and we'll look next at how to find this angle here. Okay, so now I've worked out this length here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and find this angle here, because if I find this angle, I know the whole thing is 140. That's going to help me find this angle here. So how do I find this angle? Well, I know the opposite side. I know this is 55 and the opposite side is 71, so I can use the sine rule. A over sine A is equal to B over sine B. So let's plug in what we know. A is 71.7, well 7.708, which is what it before approximation, over sine 55 is equal to 75, that's B there, divided by sine B. So rearranging, I can bring my sine B over to the left hand side. It's divide here, so it's multiply. So sine B is going to be equal to 75, stays where it is, times sine 55 goes next to it, and divide by 71.708. Plug out my calculator and I get 0.85675. That's sine B. Now how do I find B? If you recall, B is going to be the inverse sine, sine to the minus 1 of 0.85675. Plug that in the calculator to check it for me. And that should give you 58.954 degrees. So this side is 58.954. And this side, oh, I tell you what, I'll do it in blue to distinguish between the two of them. So this side is going to be 140 degrees minus 58.954. I'll just do that calculation here. 140 minus 58.954, which is going to be equal to 81.045. So there we are. So just before you make some notes, now I've got this angle, it's the angle in between two sides that I know, which means I can now find this side using the formula that needs the angle in between two sides, the cosine rule. Before we do that, hit pause, make some notes, and when you're ready, hit play again, and we'll move on to the final part then, finding AB. Well, nearly there. It's a bit convoluted, but now I know that BD is 71.7. I know that this angle here, ADB, is 81, approximately. So I can use that to work out this side here. Now I'm going to use the cosine rule. If I can get this pen to oops. There we go. So cosine rule. Change that back to red. Plus c squared minus 2bc cos A. So again, let's just highlight this triangle here and relabel it. I'm trying to find this side AB here. So let's call that A. That's angle A, which is opposite it. And call that B. And call that C. So we can now substitute for B, C, and cos A. So we've got 70 squared plus 71.708 squared. Try and keep it as accurate as possible. Minus 2 times 70 times 71.708 times cos of 81.045. 0.045. Plug that into your calculators for me. That should give you the calculator should give you 8,479.55. Don't forget that's a squared, so a is going to be the square root of that. Which is 92.1 meters. And that's your AB. Okay, so hit pause, make some notes, and I've got a couple of questions for you to have a go at. Some questions for you, exercise 9E. Pretty straightforward really. It's worth starting simply though. So maybe left hand side, A and D and G on question 1. And then let's see, question 2 is very straightforward. If you feel confident, maybe just do the odd questions, jump to 3, then 5. Question 6, maybe just do A. And then depending on how confident you are, maybe attempt question, definitely attempt question 7 and 8. And then I'll leave you to pick 1 or 2 of the last ones. Question 10 is very good. Okay, good.